Hello everybody, I'm Seth Weissman and welcome to another episode of Safe Real Estate. Today we're going to look at the question of, is it better to work with the buyer in a client relationship or in a customer capacity? And my humble opinion is that it is actually better to represent a buyer in a client relationship than in a customer capacity for two reasons. And they both have to do with license law. License law gives agents who are working with buyers in a client capacity much better legal protection than they do if you were working with someone in a customer capacity. And here's why. One of the provisions of license law says you will not negotiate with a buyer who is represented in a client capacity by a real estate agent. But this prohibition does not apply if you are working with the buyer in a customer capacity. So in other words, under license law, as surprising as this may seem, it is not a violation of license law for a listing agent to call the buyer directly and say something like, the offer that your real estate agent has put together is just terrible. I don't know where you got that, real estate agent, but this offer is not going to work if you want to buy the property. In other words, the listing agent is negotiating with the buyer, and you can do that as a listing agent without violating license law if you only have a customer relationship. In addition to that, you are allowed to encourage a customer who is working with someone in a customer capacity to fire the buyer agent and to hire you. So if you are working with a buyer agent and it's only a customer capacity, I, as another buyer agent, am allowed to go to that buyer and say, why are you working with so-and-so? I'm a much better real estate agent than they are. I don't think they're doing a good job for you. Why don't you fire them and hire me? That is not a prohibition under license law. Now, the one big caveat is that the code of ethics will often prohibit these behaviors. But what you need to remember is in Georgia, we have about 115 to 120,000 licensees, and only about half of them are realtors. So the other half are not subject to our code of ethics, and they can really do things that undermines your relationship with someone if you are working with them in a customer capacity. As a result, I think whenever possible, it is best to establish a client relationship with your buyer. I hope this episode of Safe Real Estate has been beneficial. As always, it's great to see you. Please continue to tune in. Bye now.